Champions League has a Bayern Munich problem. This was not just a win. This was a warning.
Well, great turn from Kane. It's Harry Kane! Absolutely magnificent.
Oh, Diaz, brilliant from Luis Diaz!
When I look at these two players and when it comes to those big moments there, who would you trust more to be the more clinical finisher? And I know it sounds crazy because you're talking about Erling Haaland. Harry Kane is a more natural clinical finisher than Erling Haaland for me.
Bayern Munich walked into the Santiago Bernabeu, one of the most sacred grounds in football, and did something very few teams in Europe can do. They made Real Madrid look human. And that is exactly why the Champions League has a Bayern Munich problem. Because when Bayern smell weakness, when the lights get brighter, when the pressure gets heavier, they don't shrink. They become something colder, sharper, and far more dangerous. The Bernabeu is supposed to be a graveyard for visiting dreams. This is where leads disappear. This is where logic dies. This is where Real Madrid turn panic into mythology. But tonight, Bayern Munich didn't come here to survive the occasion. They came here to own it. From the very first whistle, there was something different about them. Their passing had purpose. Their movement had conviction. Their press had venom. And most importantly, their mentality never once bent to the weight of the stadium, the history, or the badge on the other side. This wasn't chaos. This wasn't a smash and grab. This was control. This was authority. This was Bayern Munich reminding Europe that no matter how many new super teams rise, no matter how much hype surrounds everyone else, this competition still has an old predator lurking in it. And that's what made this result feel so significant, because Bayern Munich versus Real Madrid is never just another knockout tie. It's legacy against legacy, European royalty against European royalty. Every meeting between these two clubs carries ghosts with it: pain, revenge, broken hearts, and unfinished business. For Bayern, those scars run deep. The missed chances, the brutal exits, the nights where they were brilliant but not ruthless enough. The years when Real Madrid always seemed to find one more moment, one more escape, one more miracle. That history matters because it changes how you watch a match like this. You don't just watch the scoreline. You watch the nerve. You watch the body language. You watch for the old fear to return. And that's what made Bayern so terrifying on this night. The fear never came. They looked like a team that had made peace with the past. They looked like a team that no longer respected the aura of the Bernabeu. And when Bayern stop fearing you, they become a completely different animal. The breakthrough set the tone for everything. The move itself was classic Bayern quick thinking, technical quality, and ruthless end product. Gnabry sees it early. Kane reads the moment. The flick is clever, almost effortless. And Diaz finishes with the kind of calm that crushes stadiums. 1-0. And suddenly the Bernabeu changed. Not because the crowd disappeared, but because belief hesitated. You could feel it. That slight pause. That uncomfortable silence that only happens when Real Madrid supporters realize this might not be one of those nights where the script bends in their favor. And that's what elite teams do in this competition. They don't just score, they change the emotional temperature of the stadium. Bayern's first goal did exactly that. It forced Real Madrid to confront something they hate more than anything: control slipping away. And then came the goal that turned a huge result into a terrifying statement. Harry Kane. This is why Bayern moved mountains to bring him in. Not for easy league goals, not for stat-padding afternoons, for nights like this. Watch the goal again and you see more than finishing. You see intelligence. You see patience. You see one of the smartest strikers in world football understanding exactly where panic lies in a defense and stepping into it. He doesn't rush. He doesn't force it. He waits for the space to appear, or maybe more accurately, he creates the illusion that it was always there. And then the finish. Precise, controlled, merciless. 2-0 at the Bernabeu. That's the part that should scare everyone else in Europe, because Harry Kane gives Bayern something that already great teams become unstoppable with: certainty. Half a chance is enough. One loose touch is enough. One lapse in concentration is enough. And when you pair that kind of striker with Bayern's pace, structure and relentless pressure, you don't get a good team. You get a tournament problem. This is the real story. Bayern Munich are scary in the Champions League, not just because they have stars, but because they understand exactly what this competition demands. You need control without becoming passive. You need courage without becoming reckless. You need clinical finishes, but also emotional discipline. And above all, you need to know how to hurt elite teams when the moment arrives. Bayern did all of it. They exploited space with intelligence. They won second balls. They matched Real Madrid physically. They stayed compact when they had to defend and look lethal every time they transitioned. That's what separates dangerous teams from beautiful teams. A beautiful team might dominate possession. A dangerous team makes every mistake feel fatal. And Bayern, on this night, looked like a team that could smell vulnerability from miles away. Every misplaced pass from Madrid felt like an invitation. Every gap in the line looked like an opening they had already prepared for. That is why the Champions League has a Bayern Munich problem. Because once Bayern find rhythm, they don't play with hesitation. They play with inevitability. That's what stood out most. Real Madrid went just on the wrong end of a scoreline. They were taken out of their comfort zone. Their usual psychological edge never fully arrived. Their comeback aura, their emotional momentum, that sense that the Bernabeu can always drag them back into the fight, Bayern neutralized all of it. And doing that to Real Madrid is rare. It takes more than talent to win here. It takes nerve. It takes tactical discipline. It takes the ability to ignore the noise and trust your structure when the crowd is trying to swallow you whole. Bayern didn't just handle the pressure. They made the pressure look like it belonged to Madrid. And when you can flip that dynamic at the Bernabeu, you are not just contenders. You are a threat to everyone. So what does this win really mean? It means Bayern Munich are no longer just one of the big names left in the competition. They are the team that changes how everyone else calculates the road to the final. Because there are talented teams in Europe. There are fashionable teams. There are expensive teams. But Bayern remains something different. They are built for these nights. They have history, but they are not trapped by it. They have stars, but they do not depend on chaos. They have power, precision, and now, in Harry Kane, a killer who can turn control into devastation. That is the nightmare scenario for the rest of Europe. So let me ask you, after a performance like that, who honestly wants to face Bayern Munich? Is this the result that announces a new power shift in Europe? Is Harry Kane finally writing the signature Champions League run that defines his career? And most importantly, are Bayern now the scariest team left in the competition? Drop your predictions in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe for more deep dives into football's biggest nights. This is Time Grid, and tonight, Europe got the message. The Champions League has a Bayern Munich problem.